Hi betting experts, Thursday the 14th of March, day 3 at the Cheltenham Festival. Soft ground expected. We've certainly had more weather than I was expecting. Looking at the forecasts about a week ago, it's going to be pretty testing ground again on Thursday. It's a really competitive and tough card with pretty open betting on most of the races. We start off with our betting expert daily nap, sponsored by Bet365, goes in the 250 at Cheltenham, the Ryanair Chase, 2 mile, 4 furlongs and 127 yards, a grade 1, nearly £220,000 on offer to the winner, open to 5-year-olds and upwards. Pretty open betting this morning. I'm really strong here on Banbridge, who I think has been laid out fresh for this meeting. He's only run once this season. He beat the reliable and prolific Pic Dorhy at Kempton on good to soft ground back in January. He handles cut in the ground perfectly well. He's run really well in Ireland on yielding ground and soft ground in the past. I'm not worried about ground conditions. He's a smooth traveller with a turn of foot. This is his trip. Not many horses are ideally suited by this intermediate trip, but he definitely is. Joseph O'Brien, obviously a genius, mainly on the flat. He has a handful of jumpers every season, and he's aimed Banbridge at this race for many months now, and I think he's a class above these rivals. He's a sound jumper. Plenty of them come into this race with questions to answer or find winning difficult. I know there's been plenty of money around for Hitman, with the ground coming right for him at a big price in the last week. I don't fancy him getting up the hill at all, and plenty of the others like Protectorat for me are on the downgrade. So for me, Banbridge remains open to more improvement after just 6 runs over fences, and I think he'll prove too strong for these rivals. Our betting expert value angle selection, sponsored by Bet365, goes in the 450, the Ryanair Mares Novice Hurdle, 2 miles and 179 yards, grade 2, class 1, 4-year-olds and upwards, nearly £60,000 to the winner. Again, a competitive betting race, but I do like Dyser Enos from the excellent Fergal O'Brien yard. Now, Fergal O'Brien, for me, is going to be nudging, giving Paul Nicholls and Skelton and Henderson a run for their money in the coming years. He's got some lovely young horses. The quality of them has really improved. Dyser Enos as well. 6 career starts, 3 wins in bumpers, 3 wins over hurdles. Comes from a pointing background, so I don't think the Cheltenham Hill will be any issue. Revelled in the soft ground on the 15th of December at this track over this trip to beat the Bat by 2 3/4 lengths under Paddy Brennan. That's very good form. The conditions will clearly suit. And then at Doncaster, pretty impressive under a penalty, long odds on against nothing, but there's loads more to come from Dyser Enos, a smooth traveller with a turn of foot, and I think she might have too much pace for more staying types from the top Irish stables. The remaining races, we'll do them in time order, starting with the 130, the Turners, over nearly 2 mile 4, a grade 1 for 5-year-olds and upwards, nearly £100,000 to the winner. I think there's going to be a pace duel here. There's lots of front runners, not least of all Ginny's Destiny. He'll be looking to get up against that far rail, and I think this could pan out absolutely ideally for Iroko, who's another horse who comes here fresh from the excellent Guerrero and Oliver Greenall yard. They've had a fantastic breakthrough season. This horse suffered a setback after he won on his reappearance at Warwick back in November, beating Golden Sun by 3 1/4 lengths on very soft ground over this trip, but he's got him right again. He's absolutely A1 at home. Apparently the yard, 4 winners in the last 14 days at a 19% strike rate, so they've come right at the right time. And I think the key with Iroko, he will be ridden with patience, and there's so much pace on in this race. I think it's going to develop for something ridden from off the back, and hopefully he can come through up the final hill. He remains open to loads more improvement. The 210, the Pertemps final, a minefield for punters, 8-1 the field for looking this morning. It looks all of that. Fine bookmakers offering extra places if you're going to play. Bet365 in particular offer very generous terms. I've liked Springwell Bay for a long time for this race. He's only had 3 runs this season. John Joe's had 2 winners in the last 14 days. There's more to come. 4 career wins from 8 starts over hurdles. Revels in soft ground. Got Cheltenham form. I have no doubt in my mind at all there are others better handicapped, but Springwell Bay is a real tough battler, a thorough stayer. Just touched off by Curly Finger 39 days ago. That form has been well advertised by the winner since, and Springwell Bay seems sure to give you a really good run for your money with conditions to suit. The big race of the day, the Stayers Hurdle at 3:30, a really competitive renewal this, nearly 3 miles, grade 1, £182,000 to the winner. T Hoopu has shortened up into favouritism. I really do respect his claims, but I'm going for Crambo here to give Fergal O'Brien another big high profile winner. He's a very strong traveller, an improver. He won at Sandown on heavy ground back in March 2023, which shows these conditions will be no issue if it gets deep. He's thrived this season since returning from 197 days off, well backed on each occasion, winning at Aintree in October and then back on the winning trail at Ascot on good ground, just edging out Paisley Park. I think this deeper ground will definitely suit him. There's more to come from him. He's only run 8 times over hurdles in his life. He's been kept fresh, which I like as well. 82 days off since his last run. He'll be A1 on the day, and I think he'll go really close. The 4:10, the Plate, a very competitive handicap over 2 mile 4 and 127 yards, 67 grand to the winner, class 1, 5-year-olds and upwards. There's been something of a plunge on Krabilly, which I can understand, but he's ridiculously short now in a race of this nature. And I think Shake 'em Up Harry is the one to side with. Ben Pauling, no trainer in better form in the UK, 6 winners in the last 14 days at an 18% strike rate. Shake 'em Up Harry fell down the weights. He took a couple of runs this season after his wind operation to get back in the groove. He got down to a mark of 140 here over 2 mile 4.5 furlongs, and he proved a revelation under a patient ride from a pound out the weights from Ben Jones, storming clear up the hill to beat Frero Bambo. Again, he's fresh. He's had 2 months off since. He's only had 3 runs this season. I think there's still more to come from him off the wind operation, which sounds a strange thing to say about a 10-year-old, but he's always been a giant, strapping, scopy horse who revels in the mud. They tried front running in his early days, but I think he's more suited to a patient ride now, and that's what he's going to get here from Ben Jones, and I think he'll come powering through up the hill. Again, look for bookmakers offering extra places. I think he is a really good, rock solid each way bet. And finally, the Kim Muir at 5:30, 3 mile 2. This will take some getting. 36.5 grand to the winner for this class 2, 5-year-olds and upwards. Well, where it all began is on my shortlist for the Aintree Grand National in April. He comes from the Gordon Elliott Yard. 7 winners for Gordon in the last 14 days. He's progressed run to run as his stamina's been drawn out this season, winning really well at Punchestown in a swamp in February. Now, the handicap has not missed him. That came off 123. He is now quite dramatically higher in the weights, £11 higher in fact, but I think he's capable of handling it. He's a young, improving stayer. He stays further, which will be a big plus of the last race of the day in a strongly run race, and hopefully he can come through and overpower them up the hill at a double-figure price. Best of luck on day 3 at the Cheltenham Festival, betting experts, and please remember to like and comment on all of our YouTube videos.